Hello, my name is Amy and I am one of the subject librarians at UTSA Libraries. Today I'm doing a quick crash course on Mendeley to reflect all the changes that Mendeley has implemented in the past couple of months. One of the things that I wanted to point out was that they have dramatically reduced the social networking component of Mendeley, which was one of the big draws for me for this particular citation manager before. It's still there, it's just not as huge as it used to be. So let's just go ahead and get started. I'm going to go ahead and go over to the library website, lib.utsa.edu, so I can show you. If you scroll down here to follow my cursor, the research guides, and then in the search box right here, where it says search all guides, type in Mendeley and just hit enter. And then you will get to go to my guide right here. You could also search up my name, but I think it's easier to go through Mendeley just because in case this ever gets switched over to a different librarian, you'll still be able to find it if you look using Mendeley. Here we are in the basic overview. And if you have already watched Sherry Salisbury's citation overview video, you should already know what Mendeley is. And it's a cloud-based citation manager that helps you organize your references, like citations, and your PDFs and everything. And you can sync it up with the Mendeley web version. So there's a desktop version, and they've launched something else called a reference manager, which is what I'm going to be showing you today. Because the reference manager looks pretty much identical to the web version. The only difference is that, like I said, it's on your desktop versus being accessible through your browser like the web version is. And the reason I wanted to show you this research guide is because right now I need to update some of the things on the left right here, but once I have it updated, it should have all these like screenshots and everything on how to use Mendeley in case you forget like a step or something. But I highly recommend going to Mendeley itself for tutorials because Mendeley is owned by Elsevier, and Elsevier has a research guide that also contains screenshots and up-to-date information on Mendeley's updates and all that. So you could also use that, and I have them all linked right here. And on the left right here is my contact information. I recommend you email me instead of calling me on the phone because my phone's been having some issues. If you just mouse over here, in case that button doesn't work, you can see my email address and just email me that way. So that's the research guide portion done. Let's go over to Mendeley.com. For the purposes of this video, I've actually uninstalled my Mendeley apps just so I can show you, I can just walk you through the entire process. So right here, we're on the Mendeley website. You can go ahead and create an account if you don't already have one. I have an account already, so I'm just not going to show you that process. But if you hit download right here, it will take you straight to the reference manager download page. And I'm going to go over desktop in like a different video, but for now, let's just use reference manager. So my default's to Windows because I'm using a Windows computer. I think if you're using a Mac, it will say Mac instead, but just in case, the Mac version is right here where my cursor is. And you can also download the Linux version. But I'm just going to go with the default because, like I said, I use a Windows computer. So this box will pop up. Just save the file. And you can see the progress at the top right corner right here in Firefox. So the arrow has appeared, which means it is done. And I can go ahead and just hit this right now. And it'll show my downloaded file. So just click that. And you can make it available to everybody in the computer or only for yourself. I'm just going to hit only for myself because, I don't know, just in case you guys have other people who use a computer with you, it might be better to just specify that it's only for you. And that is basically it for the download and installation process. Now you just hit finish to open up the reference manager, and it's going to look something like this. I'm already logged in, but if you're not logged in, it's going to prompt you to log in. And like I said before, if you created your account already on the website, then you just enter your login information and it will show you this page right here, which is your library. If you have never used Mendeley before, yours is going to be completely blank. But since I have used Mendeley, this is my existing library, and it's just a bunch of random stuff that I threw in there mostly to test out the software because it's been a while since I've actually used the Citation Manager to organize my work as a grad student, and back then I used EndNote. So if you were somebody who was using EndNote or Zotero and wanted to import your library, you can go over to Add New and then hit Import Library, and it'll let you import from other citation managers that you might have been using already. You could also go to Add Files from Computer. The other way to add things to your library is just doing it straight from the browser from the Mendeley website, which I'll show you in a second. But right now, since I already have all these files right here in my library, I'm just going to show you what it looks like when I open it up in the Mendeley Reference Manager. Right here, if I click on this file, this little window opens up on the right here that has information about the article that I just clicked on. So it has all the metadata pertaining to it, which is the title, the publisher, the abstract, and you can modify all of this stuff right here. Like, see, I have, like, for date access, I have all of these dates just because I have clicked on this article like 3 different times today. But for you, it might show something else. And you can see right here, there is already a PDF attached to it. So right here under files, that's what, like, it has like this, this link. But if you don't have a PDF attached, you can hit the plus button and manually attach your PDF that way. You can also add tags for this article. I don't have any right now, but if you wanted to tag this article, it works just like tagging like a blog post or social media post or something like that. It's basically making it so that you can more easily search for it in your own library later. So for this one, because it's about ADHD, I can tag it as ADHD, and then I can add another tag, which is depression. Like, I'll add that. And this will allow me to filter my search later on just for this tag if I wanted to do that. So right now my library is like a giant mess. It shows all the references that I have. But if I wanted to filter it so it shows only, and the filter button is this little upside down triangle right here. If I click on that, it expands this. I can filter my results only by author, or I can do it by tag. So these are my existing tags right now, and I'm just going to click ADHD. And that will show you the articles I have that I've tagged with ADHD, and I can just double click on the article to open it up. So I've already been in this PDF before, so you can see my highlights, like annotations and all that, and you can just hit the select button right here and just highlight what you want to, and then click highlight. You can change the colors. You can also add it to your notebook. So the notebook is like a new feature they added. You can access your notebook up here as well at the top. If you hit add to notebook, what it does is you can see I already have other things added. And the notebook basically can follow you across different PDFs. Right now I have this one, like these two PDFs open, right? So I'm in this one and I hit add to notebook and it added it at the top, and these are other things that I've copied and pasted in. Now, if I were to switch over to this tab instead, you can see the notebook remains open. I can go ahead and highlight something else. I'll just highlight this right here. Then I'll hit add to notebook, and now it's added that to my notebook. So by doing this, you can basically compile a whole list of like notes that you can consult later on when you are actually writing your paper. And if you added it using the add to notebook button instead of just copy and pasting it in, you can actually click right on that and it'll take you straight to the section that you got this quotation from, which is really neat if you ever wanted to go back and check the context or cite properly. Okay, that was fun. Let's go back over here to the library, at the top left corner, just in case you forgot. And on the left side right here, you can see collections, where I have my test collection. Of course, I'm sure many of you will have more collections that you can build up, and they're just basically folders where you can add different articles, because I'm sure you're going to have more than one project going on. And then under here, under private groups, I would normally show you this in the web browser, but since Mendeley changed up everything and their social networking with the public groups and all of that is no longer a thing, there's really no point. I'm just going to show you right here. So this is private groups within the app still exists. So this is a group I joined back then, and it's basically just articles related to gender and COVID. Oh, as you can see, normally this would show up, but I need to show you, right? Let me X out the notebook right now. At the top right hand corner right here, the filter is still selected, so therefore none of my results for my group are showing. And it's the same if I were to go back to like all references. This is only showing the stuff that has been filtered because the filter actually stays locked, unlike the UTSA library's website where you have to keep clicking the padlock button. Anyways, back down to the group right here, and now back up again to the filter button. I'm gonna click that and I can X out the filter, or I can just hit clear filters and it'll just clear the filter. And now you can see all of these articles that this group and I have shared with each other. And like I said, this is from before when it was easier to join groups on Mendeley. I'm actually not really sure how to find this group now if I were to try to go back on the website, because they got rid of that option. But Mendeley is still pretty good for collaboration. Like if I wanted to create a public group, I can click like, new group and name my group and invite people to collaborate with me. And we can share documents with each other just by dropping those files into the group. And we can also go in and like work on the same document at the same time. It's pretty neat, despite the fact that they've slimmed down on all of the social networking features. You can still use Mendeley for, I guess, collaboration purposes if you so desire. Okay, let me go back to the all references page so that you can see all of my articles. So if I click on this one, I'm just gonna click on a random one. Earlier I was talking about the metadata. If I go mouse back over to info, that's where you can see all this metadata right here. Most of the time it's been correct for me. Like it's pulled this information, the abstract and everything, pretty accurately, but not all the time. As you would do with like an auto citation, it's probably best to double check the metadata here just to make sure it's correct. So you can see if the publisher is like the correct one listed. Sometimes like there's an example right here, you don't see a URL listed. So, there's the full text. So you can say like, okay, well, I downloaded the PDF, maybe I don't need to link to it, but for a citation, you're going to have to show where you accessed it. So unfortunately, you have to kind of manually add it. So you can just go on and like copy and paste the article title in Google Scholar or just on Google and just copy the URL where you would go to access it. And then once you save that information, it'll just be here. So when you do build up your bibliography, you can be reassured knowing that you already double checked everything and you will have a correct bibliography. The next thing I was going to show was, like I mentioned, you can add articles from your browser, and you can do that by using the Citation web importer. So you can install it through tools up here just by hitting install web importer. But I remember last time a student was having some trouble with that, it just wasn't working for him. So I'm going to go back to the browser and do it this way. If you scroll back all the way down on the Mendeley website, right here where it says downloads, where my mouse is, you can click on web importer. Remember, the reference manager is what we already downloaded. This is what the web importer will look like once you have it downloaded. It'll just show up as an add-on in your browser, like the ribbon at the top right here, and it will expand into this box right here every time you click on it. Let me just click Get Web Importer for Firefox, because like I said, I'm using Firefox, but if you're using Chrome, it will show up as Get Web Importer for Chrome instead. So I'm just going to hit Add to Firefox, and then hit Add again, and now you can see the little icon up here, right here in the ribbon, and it's basically just saying that you just have to click on that and you can access the web importer, and then just hit OK, and that is it. So now, if I were to go back to, let me just X this out, the UTSA Libraries webpage, if I were to search for an article, let me just do ADHD college students, just because that's the majority of the stuff in my library, I'm going to use the filters on the left right here and narrow it down to scholarly and peer-reviewed articles. Then I'll scroll down and pick a random one. Let me pick this one by Goffer. So it's opening the full record. Now I can try to add this reference by hitting the web importer right now. And if you're not logged in already, it's going to make you log in. I'm already logged in, so I can access my library right here and so on and so forth. But it's already checked off the article that we were trying to access, which is Occupational Experiences of College Students with ADHD. But you don't see a PDF button, which it should show if you are on the right page. So you can always add it like this, just straight to your library by hitting the add button right here, and it will add the reference, which, maybe you only want to add the reference so you can come back to it later. That is totally fine. But if you want to add the PDF straight to your library as well, you can just go to Taylor and Francis Journal's website. So right here, under View Online Now, what I'm highlighting right now, this is the database that you'll be accessing this article through. So click on that. And the reason it wasn't showing up, the PDF wasn't showing up when you opened up the web importer before, is because all this information is behind a paywall. So right now I'm going to log in to Taylor and Francis's website. Because I'm a UTSA affiliate, if I log in, I will be able to load the article and then use the web importer to add it into my library. So this is the article. I can always add it by clicking the PDF button right here, the little green one, or I can use this, since I have Mendeley installed, Mendeley pops up automatically and tells me, view PDF. I can do it that way too. So you can open it up, and just download it and manually import it that way. Or you can go up again to the Mendeley web importer, click that, and now you'll see. So it automatically checked off the actual article, and right now it says PDF, which means you can click add, and that will add this reference along with the PDF to your library. So you can hit view PDF in library and it'll open up your library in your web browser and just take a look at it right there. You can also, if you scroll down here, it says 4 more references detected on page. Like what the web importer does is it detects every single reference that's on the page. I shouldn't say every single. Most of the time it detects the references on the page. Sometimes it misses 1 or 2, which is why it's always better to do things manually if you can. But you know, this is an easy way to do it. So if I hit references, I can see that this, oh, see, it only pulled 4 of them, but there are more than 4 on this page. So now that I've actually clicked over to the references tab, I can try the web importer again. Let's see if it pulls it this time. Nope, it still says 4. So yeah, I've seen it pull like all of them before, but let's just pretend it pulled everything. So let's say it pulled all the citations. So you can see like all the references that it pulled. It's for some of them, it's managed to pull the PDF as well. And I'm assuming that's because UTSA just has access to it, or it's an open access journal article, or maybe it's just another of Taylor and Francis's offerings. If not, then it's probably going to say PDF not found. But you might want to import these references anyways, just because, like I said before, you might want to go back and look all this up later on your own. So you could choose to, you know, just check off the ones you want and just import it that way. I'm not going to do that now because I don't want to I don't want to deal with all these random references appearing without the PDFs attached to them. But if I were to click view library right now, it's going to open up my Mendeley library through the web browser. I'm already automatically logged in, so I'm just going to hit sign in. But if you're not, you can just sign in right here. And here you can see the web version of the reference manager, which looks exactly like the desktop one, which is convenient because you don't have to learn, like, you know, relearn where everything is since it looks identical. The web version is very good at syncing up with the desktop ones, the desktop reference manager, that is. Remember, there's also a separate desktop app. That's a different one that I am not going over right now. But if you want to make sure, you can always click the sync button up here and it should sync your libraries. So sometimes I've noticed when I add an article, especially using the web importer, it might show up here first, and I can just hit sync and make sure it syncs up in the library that I have down here through the app. And like I said, it's identical. It works exactly the same way. Like I would open it up and I can click into it, edit it. It's exactly the same as the desktop version. All right, now let's move on to the last portion of this video, which is the add-on tool for Microsoft Word. Okay, this time you will be using the tools option up here. So go up to tools in your ribbon in your reference manager and hit install Mendeley site for Microsoft Word. So it's going to open up the website again. Oh my god, it's my Chrome browser that opened automatically. I apologize for all the tabs at the top right here, but click get it now and then enter your email, then hit sign in, and it's going to make you go all the way through your UTSA account. Okay, now we are logged in. Oh god, ugh, it's making me fill out everything. Let me just skip ahead. Alright, now I've clicked continue and it's taking me to Microsoft 365 to complete the process. Alright, so now I can open it up in Word. I already have Word open, so hopefully it should be faster. So now it is supposedly in Word. Let's check to see if it's here already. Alright, let's click trust this add-in. Good grief. Alright, after that long and harrowing process, I have signed in. So now you can see it has added Mendeley site to my references ribbon. So got it, and now I can use it. Alright, so let's go open up a blank document and test this out. So let's go back to the references tab, hit Mendeley site, and then it's going to make you sign in again. Basically, most of this tutorial is just showing you how to prep all of your stuff so you can have it ready for when you actually need to use it. Okay, I have now logged in. And here, this is an update that I actually kind of like. It lets you just select the references that you want, just add them straight here. So let me just try to show you. If I were to choose these, I can hit insert to citations, and it'll just insert it right there. So let's say if I were typing a paper or something, and I'm like, I want to cite this one, I can just hit that, insert citation, and it'll show up right there. And if I were to generate a bibliography, I think I can scroll down to here. Oops, my bad, that's not how you do it. Oh, here we go. Hit more, and then hit insert bibliography, and it'll say, it'll be inserted at your cursor location. So my cursor was here, then hit continue, and then it generates a bibliography. Voila, that is all you need to do. You can also edit citation styles. So right here, where's the citation style? Like I said before, if you were to submit your article for publication in a different journal, it might tell you to edit all of your citations to fit a different style. And if you were to go and do it manually, it'll be a pain in the butt. So even though you already had to do the other stuff manually, like double check your information, like your metadata, once you have all that correct, you will know that it's all ready for use by this little generator right here. So I generated my bibliography. Right now it's an APA format. So let's say I want to change it over to the American Medical Association's style guidelines. I can hit that button, then hit update citation style, and it will change to the new citation style. So that is all you need to do, really, and you can keep on changing it. You can also hit select another style and then search for a style. Say I want to do Chicago, and then that's it. Very simple, very easy, and I'm going to go ahead and just wrap up right here because this video has gotten very long. I will do a separate video for the other features of Mendeley that I want to show you, but for now I think these are the basics that you need to learn, and I am going to go ahead and thank you for watching this and have a good day. Bye.